All right, final segment here of a Locked On crossover. Indiana Hoosiers, college football. Locked On Hoosiers, Locked On college football. I'm Jacob Goins. He is Spencer McLaughlin. And we started looking at Big Ten power rankings heading into 2025. Now, I'm curious, Spencer, do you subscribe to the idea of washing out everything that happened a year ago and just looking at what to expect in 2025? Or do you let that kind of trickle into your power rankings?
Well, it depends on how similar a team is going to be from the prior year. I mean, Ohio State and Oregon are incredibly talented rosters. They are not the same teams.
Yeah.
They just had, I think, a combined 24 players drafted. Oregon just set a record with 10 players drafted. That's a record for their school. I think Ohio State had like 14 selected total. So that's a lot. And by the way, the number of players you lost is not limited to the guys that got drafted. Those were just the best players that got drafted. Oregon is replacing a quarterback, a running back, 2 tight ends, 4 offensive linemen, 3 defensive linemen, 2 linebackers, and 6 members of the secondary.
You're really knowledgeable about them.
Yeah, I am indeed. I got a guy.
How many players is Purdue replacing?
Unimportant.
For their sake, I hope all.
Oh, well, they're replacing a lot. Barry Odom is turning things over. That's kind of the idea. But for Ohio State, you lost 3 guys along the defensive line. You lost, I think, 2 linebackers, a couple members of the secondary, a receiver who was selected, was it late in the first round, early second, Emeka Ibuka, and both your running backs and your quarterback and several members of your offensive line.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
I think it matters when you're evaluating the quality of a coaching staff to say, what did they do the prior year? Like, if I were to grade total coaching jobs last year in the Big Ten, Indiana would be up there. Like, certainly what Dan Lanning did at Oregon winning the Big Ten, very impressive. What Ryan Day did winning national championship, very impressive. They also have the talent rosters on paper to do that. Indiana shouldn't have been 11-1 and as dominant as they were. So I think you have to grade the staff very highly after what they did a year ago. But if we're talking power rankings here, my number 1 team is Penn State. There is no way. Here's the crazy thing. I know it sounds wild, Jacob. It does. It feels wrong. It's just like, oh, it's James Franklin.
It definitely feels wrong.
It feels wrong. But if I were to create a graphic or write out a tweet thread or anything, and I gave you Team A, Team B, and Team C,
okay,
I guarantee you all would pick Penn State. I guarantee it. There is no way, unless you knew what the discussion was and you wanted to pick Ohio State or Oregon just to be contrarian. But you would not, if you just looked objectively at all of this, you would not pick Ohio State or Oregon. You would pick Penn State. This is a school that was team school, refer to it however you want. This is a team that is returning its head coach and its offensive coordinator, who was coveted for head coaching jobs, but wanted to stay as the OC for Penn State during the run. And by the way, that job was West Virginia. He would have been the West Virginia head coach, not Rich Rodriguez, but he decided, no, I want to stay with Penn State. So you bring back...
That's just for the story of college football. Rich Rod, baby.
Yeah, it is. I know. I'm glad Rich Rod is back at West Virginia. But you bring back one of the 5 best, maybe one of the 3 best offensive coordinators in all of college football. You have a team that has a top 10, I believe, returning production metric in all of college football. You have a 2026 projected top 10 pick at quarterback. You have 2 running backs. You return 4 starters along the offensive line. And you just brought in the defensive coordinator from Team B in this hypothetical, who was instrumental to winning a national championship. There is no way. You went out and brought in an all-conference receiver from Syracuse to help fill a void left by receivers that were substandard a year ago. Oh, and you brought in a guy from USC who was a great player for the Trojans last season. Oh, and you brought in a guy from Troy who could be Tez Johnson round 2.
Okay, Penn State's good. Fine, they're good.
Yeah, they should be great. They should be great.
They should be, but James Franklin's still their head coach. So I assume that it's going to be Penn State 1 for you, Ohio State 2, Oregon 3.
Yeah.
Who's your 4th? And tell me why Indiana's 5.
I got this written down.
I'm so proud of you.
Want to make sure I stay consistent here. I got my.
I'm proud of you.
I got my notes.
Yeah. You're
not gonna believe. I have Indiana 5th.
I guessed it right. Tell me why. Tell me why they're 5th as we.
I have Indiana 5th because of the coaching staff and because I do like some of their portal moves.
Okay.
I in particular Pat Coogan. I think Mendoza is solid, but this is more faith in the coaching staff and the continuity that they have maintained. Coaching continuity is a hard thing to find, and I've been consistent about this on my show for a very, very long time. That if you have coaching continuity, one of the reasons that I'm leaning towards my preseason national title pick being Clemson, they return their offensive coordinator, quarterback, and coach for a 3rd straight year. Nobody else in college football could say that. Not that it is a Power 4 school. There is not another Power 4 school in the country who has the same combination of those 3 guys, which I value, and is trying to win a national championship. I don't think that it exists out there. But who do you think my 4th team is? Power rated in the Big Ten.
That's such a good. If you say,
I'll give you a hint. They also have a high level of returning production.
If you tell me, like other people I've seen, that it's Illinois, I'm going to scream.
All right, well then go ahead and scream because it's Illinois.
Oh no,
it's Illinois.
Oh,
what do you not like? They lost the running back to Georgia, Josh McCray. All right, don't love that, but running backs far more replaceable than other spots. I've got a veteran quarterback in Luke Altmaier. I've got Brett Bielema, who just put up a 10-win season, by the way, and exclamation pointed it with a win over the SEC. Remember that discussion we all had about the playoff and I'd put in 9-3 South Carolina over 11-1 Indiana. Schedule's garbage, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, that's a team that Illinois beat in their bowl game. And a lot of that team is back. I believe the Illini are top 5 nationally in returning production. And I like Luke Altmaier. He's not incredible, but he's more proven than most of the other quarterbacks in the Big Ten. Yeah. It's like if you do a Big Ten power ranking of quarterbacks, Jacob, you wind up putting Drew Aller number 1 because everywhere, unless you're going to put Luke Altmaier number 1, you can't look at Dylan Raiola and say he's number 1. You can't put Bryce Underwood right there. You can't.
Mendoza's up there, though. I think Mendoza needs to be up there.
Yeah, he's solid. You're not putting him number 1.
No, not yet. Not yet.
That Curt Cignetti confidence is contagious, isn't
it? It's almost sickening. Yeah, it's almost like it's a drug, right? And how it's not supposed to do that, but hey, that's what's happening here. Okay, so you got Indiana at 5. That's good enough. That means, look, Cignetti and the Hoosiers, good expectations and solid power ranking, and a lot of good portal additions. Indiana's poised for another good season. All they have to do is compete for a college football playoff. And if they compete, not saying they have to make it, just compete, everything will be fine in 2025. That'll at least get us to basketball season where we have a new head coach and everything will be just fine.